Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'll be taking you on a tour of my citrus tree collection, from the giant pomelo trees to the unique and delicious Cara Cara orange, and down to the humble and petite mandarins. In the hopes to inspire some of you guys to plant a citrus tree so you can enjoy it with your family just like we do. So please sit back and enjoy, and give us a like and subscribe if you haven't. So we'll start off with my seedless Eureka lemon. So believe it or not, this tree is less than 3 years old. Lemon trees, specifically Eureka, or just any lemon tree in general, they tend to be very vigorous growers compared to other citrus trees such as mandarins and oranges and so on. They tend to be some of the more vigorous growers. So even though this tree is only less than 3 years old, it's extremely productive and just pleasant to the eye. So the seedless Eureka basically is a traditional lemon, in the sense of it's got a very intense acidic flavor, very tart, very sour, like a traditional lemon is supposed to be. It hasn't been really altered with. It hasn't been bred with other varieties such as oranges or other sweeter varieties to change the flavor profile of this thing. So it remained highly acidic. The only difference is this has been sort of bred to become seedless. So the same as the normal Eureka, except this thing has 0 seeds. So you can just juice away without having to worry about the seeds dropping into your dish or your juice or whatever you're using this lemon for. So as you can see, it's extremely productive. If you're after a traditional type of lemon, this is your bet. Extremely productive, extremely vigorous, extremely acidic, used for all the culinary uses in your kitchen, for juicing and everything else. So I do highly recommend this lemon if you're after a traditional lemon. Okay, so next we have the Valencia Seedless orange. I've only planted this last season, which is a few months ago. It's a newly planted tree, and the reason I planted this tree is for its juice. This tree, the Valencia orange tree, is known for its high juice content, and it tends to have a higher acidic notes compared to sugars. So it's got a higher acidity than sugar notes, which tends to keep very, very well as a juicing orange. So the juice keeps for a lot longer than your average orange because of the high acidic content. This particular variety is seedless, so obviously there's no seeds in it, and it tends to come in late in the season, which will extend your harvest. So basically, if you have other sort of oranges that come in early and mid, this comes in a bit later in the season. It will start ripening in spring, and in some cases well into summer as well. So it'll really extend your citrus harvesting or orange harvesting season. So yeah, it's extremely juicy and extremely also productive. And it's highly recommended if you're after a juice and orange. That's why I planted this, because I was after a juice and orange. I wanted something that I can juice and keep for days, and this will be your bet if you're after this sort of thing. Okay, next to it is a ruby red grapefruit. Again, I planted this the same time as my Valencia Seedless orange. Mind you, both of these trees, the ruby red grapefruit and the Valencia Seedless, are dwarf trees. And the reason why I planted dwarf trees, because I wanted to sort of plant them next to each other. And I didn't want them to really compete for space with each other. So I chose the dwarf varieties. And they will grow maybe 2.5 meters each, maybe 7 feet or so. And they should fit in this space nicely. As you can see, I've got here veggies and things like that. So I didn't want massive trees next to them. So that's why I chose the dwarf varieties. So yeah, so this is the ruby red. That's the variety of. So look, a word of advice: if you just planted a new tree, like I have, you shouldn't really let it fruit the first season, maybe even the first 2 seasons. It's not recommended. You should let the tree use up the energy to grow into growth rather than producing fruit like I did here. But since I've got so many citrus trees, I didn't mind losing a bit of time and let it fruit. I like to taste my trees before I move on, just in case I don't like it, or it's been mislabeled or something like that, because it's happened to me before, where I waited a few years for a tree to fruit and it ended up being something that wasn't, it wasn't something that I bought. Basically, it was mislabeled. So that's why I let it fruit for that reason. But ruby red is a type of grapefruit that has a reddish interior and a yellow exterior. This is actually good to go. It ripens mid-season. We've just started July here in Sydney, Australia, which is pretty much a smack bang in the middle of winter. And this thing's good to go. But I'm leaving it for my wife. She's actually overseas now. She's in Lebanon, and she'll be coming back in the next couple of weeks. So this was actually a request from her. The actual ruby red grapefruit, the plant ones, because she kept buying them. She loves them, so I planted one for her, and the little one loves it as well. So ruby red, extremely nutritious, juicy fruit, delicious. They're also very, very productive trees, and very ornamental as well. Okay, so this is my pomelo tree. One of 2 actually, and that's the one I was talking about earlier, that was mislabeled. I bought this as a red variety of Pomelos, but after waiting a few years, waiting for it to grow, and then I let it fruit, and it ended up being a normal Namroy, a normal Namroy Pomelo, which is an excellent variety of Pomelo, mind you. There's nothing wrong with Namroy, except for the fact that I already have a massive tree of Namroy right over there. That's my Namroy, which we're going to get to in a sec. As you can see, those huge Pomelos on the bottom, that's the Namroy. So I didn't need another Namroy variety. But it is what it is, and what happened. Ended up with another Namroy variety. I've already harvested actually most of the fruit on this. There's only a couple of fruits left on it, but the rest I've already harvested. Delicious variety. But I've got plans for this. I want to graft this variety with multiple other different varieties of Pomelos, since I've already got a massive Namroy tree. So I want to graft some red varieties on this. That's the plan, inshallah, in the coming season, to graft some red varieties on this bad boy. Okay, so now let's move to the next thing. So this is also another baby tree that I planted last season, last summer, which is a few months ago again. So pretty much at the same time as the ruby red, grapefruit, and the Valencia Seedless orange. And this particular variety is actually one of my favorite mandarin trees. It's the Shiranui mandarin, also known as the Sumo mandarin. It's an absolutely striking, an amazing variety of mandarin in terms of just sheer looks and aesthetics. This thing looks, it's massive. You know, if you didn't know any better, you would think it's an orange. It's as big as some oranges, maybe even bigger. And it's got like a jagged, wrinkly skin on the outside with that pronounced sort of almost like a belly button, or as the name suggests, a sumo wrestler bun. You know, the bun on top of the sumo wrestler's heads, the bun, the hair. That's how this thing looks. That's why they call it so one of the names anyway is a sumo mandarin. Extremely large, extremely delicious, and one of the best thing about it is it's the balance of acidity to sweetness is excellent on this thing, and also its texture. That's actually the winner for us, is texture. It's not mushy, it's not a sort of a soft and just juicy and like a bag of juice. It's got a nice bite to it, a good texture to it, while being also holding an excellent balance of sweet and acidity, and just striking looks as well. Amazing variety. So looking forward to eating this from my own tree. I've had it from supermarkets, loved it, so you can only imagine how good it's going to be from your own tree. Okay, so this next contender here is my Navelina orange tree. Okay, so the Navelina orange is a Spanish variety of navel oranges. It's one of the main varieties planted in Spain commercially. Excellent navel orange. In my opinion, it's leaps and bounds above the typical Washington orange navel we get here in Australia and most other countries in the West. This thing here just does circles around it in terms of everything. Actually, I've picked it. There's nothing left on it except one, which I noticed recently. I didn't know we left one, but there is one orange left in there. There it is. It's not the biggest orange, but it's got an amazing looking color on it. The orange color is very vibrant, extremely vibrant, dark orange. So it does produce excellent coloration compared to other oranges. It does come in early. It's one of the earliest, if not the earliest, navel orange to ripen in the season. It starts ripening in late autumn, late fall, and into early winter. So some of my oranges now, such as the Washington Navel and Cara Cara, have just only started to ripen now in midwinter. This thing was long gone, so this was only left by chance. We left it behind. We didn't know because it was hidden down there. So that's one of the advantages of it. So if you want a sort of a long, early harvesting type of orange, then Navelina is your bet. It's an amazing variety of orange, Washington oranges in terms of texture. Again, it's one of the best textured Washington I've had. Amazing texture. It's got a bit of a bite to it, very pulpy compared to a Washington Navel, where it's very soft and mushy and juicy. This thing also balances the sugars and the acidity perfectly. It tends to be a little bit sweeter even when it's not fully ripe, and then becomes even better when you let it ripen on the tree. So if I had to choose between this and Washington Navel, this thing will win hands down. There's no competition between this and a Navel. This Navelina Navel Orange would win every time, every single time. Okay, let's move on. Next we have my Namroy Pomelo, the one I was telling you about earlier. So this is one of my oldest citrus. It's about 3 meters high, probably about 8 years old. Very large fruits on it, very productive tree. As you can see, there's fruits everywhere. It doesn't look it, but because the tree is so big, but once you start going through the tree, you'll just see pomelos just hanging everywhere, all over the tree. It's a beautiful variety of pomelos. It's actually a Vietnamese variety. It's a white-fleshed variety, an excellent tasting, excellent eating variety as well. Very productive, very vigorous. As you can see here, let's get a sort of zoom out view. Very lush green, and just looks beautiful, from an ornamental point of view. So I do recommend, if not this particular variety, a pomelo in general. If you do love citrus, then you have to have a pomelo. It's the largest variety of citrus in the citrus kingdom. Nothing comes close to pomelo in terms of size and beauty. It's just amazing. Look at it. It's just, if for anything just to look at, it's worth planting this thing. So I do recommend you plant a pomelo. Okay, let's move on to my Cara Cara orange tree. So this thing here is probably 5 years old, give or take. It's about 5 years old, and mashallah, as you can see, it's extremely productive, prolific in production, full of delicious looking oranges. So I'll tell you a brief history about the Cara Cara orange. So basically, this was discovered back in the 70s, I believe, in Venezuela on a orange grove or a orange plantation, amongst other navel oranges. And basically, it muted those oranges, the navels. I think they were Washington navels. They naturally, one of the branches on one of the trees naturally mutated. It's a natural selection, natural mutation. So one of the branches started producing oranges, these oranges, which have a reddish interior rather than like a standard orange interior of an orange or navel orange. This thing here has like a sort of a pinkish reddish interior, which is extremely beautiful to look at, and also very juicy and has a unique flavor. In fact, it's got notes of berries, so it's got the orange and sort of hints, notes of berries as well, compared to other orange trees. And it's known to be arguably one of the best tasting oranges out there, period. because of that, those notes, those berry notes that it contains. So it's very sweet as well. So it's when it's fully ripe, it's got a high sugar content and a lower acidic content. And as I mentioned before, it's got hints of notes of berry flavors, such as raspberries and even cherries, even hints of cherries and then raspberries and things like that. It's a delightful, delicious orange. And I mean, if you're thinking of one orange tree, this is the one to get, hands down. This is the one to get. It comes in mid-season. So I would go Navelina for early season, then this here, Cara Cara for mid. Then I would go Valencia Seedless for late season and juicing. And that pretty much covers your entire sort of oranges for most of the year. Yeah, so highly recommend Cara Cara. I'm not the only one that's saying this. It's known to be the best, or at least one of the best tasting oranges out there. Okay, so let's go next. Okay, so this is my Australian Imperial Mandarin tree. Again, this tree is probably six years old or so. And that's the end of its production now, its harvest. We've picked pretty much most of the mandarin. There's a few mandarins left on the tree, but for the most part, they're done for the year. It's a delicious mandarin, very easy to peel. And it comes in early to mid season. So it's one of the first mandarins to ripen on the tree. And it's got a good texture to it as well. It's not too soft or mushy. It's got a slight bite to it, and it's got one of the best tastes when it comes to balancing the acidic notes and the sugar notes. It's excellent variety. So I do recommend everyone also to grow this if you're after an early season mandarin. Those are all extremely productive and just easy to look at and easy to peel, delicious to eat. So that's my Imperial Mandarin tree in a nutshell. Okay, so now I'll take you towards the front yard. There's another look at another shot of the Cara Cara orange tree there. Okay, so here in the driveway on the side fence here, I've got some Australian native finger limes. 3 of them. Again, they're newly planted. I planted them again last season, which is a few months ago. I've got 3 varieties. I've got pink ice, and a orange coloured variety. I forget the name of it. I can't remember the name of it. So, but it's so I've got the pink ice over there, which is pink sort of pearls. This thing is also known as the lime caviar because it contains these miniature pearls or balls. Once you open up the fruit and you squeeze it, and it comes out literally like caviar, coloured caviar. That comes in colours of pink, red, orange, green, anywhere in between. So I've chosen like an orange coloured variety, a pink coloured variety, and a lime greenish coloured variety, and that would cover most of the colour spectrums, and it's going to look beautiful and amazing. And you can use it on all sorts of things, on on desserts, on top of desserts and cakes and smoothies, on top of all your seafood. So you can use it as a substitute for lemons, or with lemons as well. You just sort of dribble it on top of your dishes, and it gives a bit of texture, and it gives that zesty, lemony taste as well. Absolutely delicious. Okay, let's go to the front yard now. Okay, so last but not least is my Washington Navel orange tree. This is one of my oldest oranges, or it is my oldest orange tree. It's probably 7 to 8 years old. Look, it's they're very common. The Washington Navels, extremely productive, very juicy, nice and sweet oranges. You know, there's nothing wrong with them, except to me, there's better navel oranges than the Washington Navel in terms of flavor and texture, and even appearance. And to me, you know, Navelina is better than Washington Navel. If your sort of criteria is flavor, appearance, and texture, especially texture, then the Navelina would be a better choice. And they're both mid-season. So these are pretty much ripening now. We're in the middle of winter now. So they're both mid-season. So if I had to pick one, it will easily be Navelina, not this. So I do have plans for this tree. And my plans is to graft different varieties of citrus on these multiple branches. So I might leave one branch, you know, maybe this branch here, and keep it as a Washington Navel. But I want to plant multiple different varieties on the other branches this coming season, such as blood oranges. I used to have a blood orange, but I've took it out years ago. I do want to plant another one now. So I wouldn't mind planting another blood orange, or maybe a couple of varieties of blood oranges, and any other unique oranges that I can sort of get my hands on in terms of seasonal types. Well, you know, I might need another late season one, so I might get a late season one, put it in there, a blood orange, and perhaps if I can find another cross type of orange as well, I might put it in there. So that's the plans I've got for this little beauty here. But it is a beautiful orange. I mean, you know, you can't say it's not a good orange. It is a beautiful navel orange tree. It's just that I've got one that is better in my opinion. So I do want to graft other varieties on this. But I will leave one, at least one branch of the original variety of Washington Navels. Yep, and I've got actually another lemon tree coming soon. I think next week. I've already ordered it, and I'm going to plant it right here. So I'm going to be taking this shrub off, and I'll be planting a lemon tree in its place. So basically, you'll have almost like an arch between this orange tree and a lemon tree here. This sort of arching, you know, over your head as you're walking through. You got, you know, orange-colored fruits and the yellow-colored fruits on either side. And I'm getting a Verna variety of lemons. It's a very popular commercial variety from Spain again. So Spain tends to have an excellent varieties of citrus in general. And you know, Verna is no exception. It's an excellent variety of citrus, of lemons. It's got a traditional taste of lemon, in a sense where it's very sour, very acidic. It has not been crossed with any sweet varieties. And it's got a pronounced neck. It looks very elegant, very productive. And one of the main reasons why I'm getting the Verna here is because it ripens its main crop in summer. So even though the Eureka that I have is, it's known to produce all year round, it's still, the main crop is still in winter though. So you'll get probably 80% of the fruit, 70% of its its load. I would say about 70% of its load in winter months, ripening in winter, and the other 30% you'll get throughout the year. So I needed something that comes in at least 60-70% in summer, and that's where the Verna lemon comes in. It's going to basically supply us with lemons during the summer seasons, because we do consume a lot of lemons. You know, we're known to have acidic sort of tastes and taste buds. Our cooking involves mostly, you know, almost every dish, traditional dish that is, must contain lemon, or is garnished with lemon, or is cooked with lemon, or it's got some sort of a lemon aspect to it. So we do eat a lot of lemons. So that's where I'll be putting this thing here. So this is the end of the road, guys. I hope you enjoyed my humble collection of citrus trees. And you know, I do hope I inspired at least one of you guys to plant a citrus. There's a citrus tree for everybody. You know, in every taste buds, every color, every size, every climate, from hot to cold climates, you can find a citrus tree that will grow in your environment. So I hope I've done the collection justice. And if you like the way you've seen, please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please be our guest. And we'll see you in the next gardening video, inshallah.